Yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back. GoldBoys.com, oddshopper.com. Finesse the books. I'm Aton. Straits producing. What more can you ask? It's a Thursday afternoon, depending on where you are, maybe early afternoon if you got that West Coast weather. If you're on the East Coast, well, it's just the typical bullshit you get in early May, except Finesse has a basketball game. I don't have a basketball game. My basketball is done.
Yep.
Finesse has a basketball game tonight. So how did we? You look like you got a fresh cut. Like you look like you're ready to go. Like this is Boston Celtics basketball night. Were you at the shop earlier, like chopping it up? Is that you just look like you're fresh and ready to go, brother?
Yeah, it was a little bit too long in between, so I had to get my shit chopped off. But yeah, I mean, as expected, right? We expect you not to be interested in basketball after the first round, right? We expected
Fair
that.
enough.
We talked about that. Celtics dominant, right? We talked about that. And we'll
Yep.
continue to be dominant. So yeah, I just hope we win it all, bro. If we winning it all will be the sweetest thing in my life. I got a lot of bookmarks ready to go, ready to retweet. And yeah, it's a good day. Thanks for having me again. And yeah, a bunch of stuff going on today. Basketball, MLB, UFC, bunch of stuff going on. So I'm excited to talk about it all.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And I'll say this, everybody, we have the benefit of hindsight. And normally we were doing the show on Wednesdays and we were able to kind of go back and forth. I got something else I'm going to throw out instead, but we're able to kind of go back and forth golf, UFC, some MMA stuff, some PGA stuff. I'm actually happy we didn't do that because any of the guys that I were going to give you are like at the bottom of today's field. There's only 68 dudes out there, and I've managed to fuck that up. So I'm good. We avoided a bullet on this show, probably more of a missile. So we got NBA. Let's start there, right? It's a big NBA night. We got playoffs. You mentioned MLB. I got a nice juicy 2-leg parlay here for you that's going to run plus 423. 2 legs in MLB that's going to run plus 423 on FanDuel. So we'll get to some other stuff. I know you're loaded anytime there's an MMA card going on. But look, I imagine that you're interested in something Boston tonight, right? Especially with Jared Allen's status. Look, I could absolutely, I would love to relish in the moment to come on here and troll you with a legit bet, a legit take, but there's nothing. The cat without Jared Allen, there is no way this Boston team lets down like they did against Miami in game 2 in the series. Come on, Finesse.
I mean, let's not act like Jared Allen is fucking one of the Avengers. Okay, that's I don't think that's a huge loss, but it is what it is. We'll take it. I'll take it. I don't really care. I'll take it. But yeah, obviously a big game tonight. This is the game in the series. Last series that we lost and had everybody losing their minds. But yeah, I think we take care of business again, protect home court. I think Jason Tatum is due for one of those games. A lot of people want to look at box scores and 19 points, 21 points and stuff like that. And he's playing great basketball. The defense obviously heavily targeting him, hard hedges,
Yep.
double teams, all of that stuff, clogging the paint, which makes it tougher to score. But I think he's due for one of those games, one of those 30-point games. So I don't mind his prop tonight. I haven't been betting a lot of NBA. I've just been kind of watching a playoff run and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, 12.5-point favorites again. I think we take care of business. I think Tatum has a great day. His double-double has been plus money. I don't mind that as well. But, yeah, I just think he's due for one of those blow-up games, one of those games he hits 5 or 6 threes, 30 points through 3 quarters, something like that. So tonight might be the night. So I'm liking that.
Yeah, I'm thinking, there's some angles here as far as where you could attack this game outside of just laying the 13. And depending on where you said 12 and a half, 13, I've seen it up to 13 and a half. Earlier this morning it was at 14. And I get some buyback here, but I mean, I guess it's either Fliff or Fanat. Let me check on this. It's Fliff. They have it at 14, right? So if you're interested in any buyback there, I'm not by any means. But the one thing I'm trying to look at is, all right, well, what improves on Cleveland's side? Like, where could you find a spot on Cleveland that would make sense? They pulled their starters. They missed a ton of shots. They hovered around that 95 point. I don't know if I want to tempt like an over team total. I do have a 2-leg parlay I'm going to throw at you on Boston's side here. 2 of 3 legs, mind you, on the GoldBoys channel, which we're live on the YouTube channel. So you better hit the thumbs up button, live on OddsShopper Twitter as well. So I'll tease 2 of those 3 legs. Third leg will be for people to find out on the video. But before all that, The only thing I was really looking at from Cleveland's standpoint, Finesse, was going over 14 and a half points for Darius Garland. The mindset here is that if Cleveland wants to stay in this basketball game, they can't just ask Donovan Mitchell to score 60 points. Like, you just can't do that shit. Boston swallows you up. Boston knocks down threes. They went from taking on a Magic team that doesn't shoot threes to now Boston, where it's like they shoot all the threes. So it's almost like you have to kind of go out of your way to get a guy like Garland involved earlier to take some pressure off from Mitchell. The only issue I have, I think, Finesse, is if it's another smackdown, do they pull guys again? And now I'm dealing with like 8 minutes on the bench in the fourth for Garland.
Yeah, I expect that to be a slightly less concern tonight. Obviously, a team, just got smoked. Obviously, it's the playoffs, right? I don't want to talk about extra motivation, but you just got smoked. I'd expect a close enough game, right? If it's within 20, I don't think the Stars are going anywhere. But yeah, I don't mind it. I saw some smart people on Garland tonight. People are kind of expecting a bounce back from him at this point. I'm more of the ilk that you kind of got to show me, especially against our defense. But yeah, you're 100% right. Somebody got to do it, right? Mobley has looked shaky offensively, looked hesitant offensively. So somebody got to do it. So yeah, I expect that as well, right? Even if he doesn't cover, I'm expecting way more volume from a guy like Darius Garland. So at the end of the day, that's all we can cap. So I think the
That's really
volume would
all
be
I
there.
had on that side. Do you have anything from a player prop standpoint in this game?
No, just JT lean. That's really it. Just Tatum points lean.
Yeah, which I love, by the way. And I think it doesn't take away from my bet either, because this is a game where, if need be, and you're right, as far as like a team getting blown out, they come back. It's just the nature of kind of pro sports, especially in a series where you're taking on the same team multiple times in a row. Like, Boston could still win by 15, 16 points, put up a buck 18, put up a buck 20, something along those lines. Jason Tatum gets his, and it still leaves plenty of opportunity for somebody else. So
Yeah.
this was the two-legger that I ran, brother. It was, and again, the third leg you can catch on GoldBoys YouTube channel right here, the video that I did for tonight. But the two legs, they're each in this game, and it's the same guy. And I love it on Caesars because it's the only place I think you can combine these two in the same game. But I went over, and I'm just making sure it's still 17 and a half points. Yep. I went over 17 and a half points for Derek White. And then I'll give you the second leg, but let's look at that. Any issues with that? First and foremost, this guy has been, granted, I know that at times it's come at the expense of someone like Tatum not getting a ton of points, but that was my point earlier to you, which is like, okay, Tatum can get his. We've still seen Derek White score consistently, hit that 20-plus point. And one thing I love, and is noticeable and kind of palpable as it is, Finesse, is that it's almost like this dude is the last guy coming off the bench, that the type of body language you see when he knocks down a shot, like they're celebrating him. He's not. He's a hell of a talent. But the collective like celebration of Derek White knocking down shots is insane. And I think there's something to that as well. So that was my first leg on that one.
Yeah, I remember last year when people were trying to convince me that Jordan Poole was better than Derek White. It was a crazy time in the history. But yeah, I never mind that. He's been the best player on our team throughout our playoff run so far. So, like I said, I'm expecting Tatum to bounce back, but in a game we're expected to score 115, 120, should be plenty to go around. So he's gonna be doing the same things: make the open threes, make the right plays, be wide open on some of these shots because of the attention on JB and JT. So yeah, I expect him to continue to get his. The number's high for a reason. So yeah, I don't mind that.
Second leg, real quick, under 8.5 rebounds and assists for the same guy. That gets me plus 230 in the game. And I think the correlation is just that, which is he's out there to score. And he's been under this number an insane amount of times over the last 20, 25 games. So I was looking at that thinking, okay, that's a healthy correlation. Caesar's the only place I know that you can do that type of shit in game. So if you have a Caesars link, go out there. You have a Caesars link, don't you, Finesse?
I think GoldBoys itself does. So yeah,
I
if we
thought you
do,
did.
just use code GoldBoys and get
Okay.
yourself a little
I
deposit
was trying to
bonus.
throw you a bone. I did in my video. I said, make sure you track down Finesse and ask him for a Caesars link so
Yeah,
you can play this.
yeah.
All right. That's all I got in the early game for you two.
Yeah, that was it for me. I like it. I like it a lot. I think we dominate, but yeah, I think we score a lot too. So plenty to go around.
Cool. Next game here, so much of this is on Luka Doncic, and I'm hesitant to say and just write him off and be like, all right, that's it. Because I think the last time we talked about his knee, he came back and dropped, just led the team in scoring.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. How do you make this series right now? I feel like the Thunder win this thing, but I can't game to game just write off Dallas until they're dead.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and that's what makes this game so tough. I don't want to bet against either team. I don't want to bet against either superstar. Like you said, Luka's having those knee issues on the injury report, but I don't put any stock into that at all. He's gonna play. He's gonna do what he can to try to lead the team. OKC's playing at a astonishingly good level right now, so I just don't want to fade them at all, especially at home. But yeah, I expect a haymaker from Dallas. Whether that comes early, whether that lasts for 48 minutes, I expect a haymaker from Dallas. So I'd actually lean Dallas plus the points, even on the road. But a very, very tough game in my eyes.
Yeah, man, that's the brutal part of it. I'm with you. It's 4.5 or so. I was just looking up
Yeah,
on Odd Shopper. You can actually you can 5.5 is out there, 5 as well. So it's definitely creeping there. I don't think there's going to be a massive change here by any means. But I'm also with you too. Like, I know Chet had himself a game and all, but at the same time, Dallas is clearly stronger up front. Doesn't mean that Gifford or anybody like that, Gafford, pardon me, anybody like that's just going to take over a game by any means. But there are some angles there to it. Kyrie's a champ. He's taken over scoring loads in the past. Luka is just a monster. The knee is the concern there. But I'm with you. I think there's absolutely a pathway. I wanted to check Odd Shopper, see what the big board had on this game specifically. But do you have any player props, part of me, that kind of jumped out at you in this game itself?
no, sir.
Derek Lively under 5.5 points. I see popping up here on.
I don't mind that.
No, I don't either, actually. It's a pretty decent edge that we have here at Unibet. See, the problem is that it's at Unibet. I thought Unibet was out of business. It's actually 6.5 elsewhere, though. So,
I like it
if you're
even more.
down in Florida like Brad or somebody, you can just rock hard rock. But
Yeah,
I
under
tell you,
six and a half.
six
I
and a
like that.
half points,
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
yeah.
You're going to
What's
lay
his
some
what's
juice
his
on this.
what's his points and assists? Are we getting a bump with points and assists?
It's a good question. Let me find out real quick right now. Points, rebounds, and assists is 12.5. Points and assists, rebounds and assists. Well, I can't
Yeah,
find
they
it.
might even list some points and assists, to be honest.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I like that under six
Probably
and a
too
half. I
small.
like that number.
Well, what about PRA? PRA right now is 12.5.
I think I like points more.
You like just straight points, six and a half
I think
points.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's not bad. The best number you can get it is minus 150 at MGM. All right, so what does that look like, right? I don't know if you can even play that. The problem with MGM is, and we have links everywhere. I'm just saying, like the problem with MGM is you can't same game parlay a lot of the under stuff or like a lot of stuff that pops up. Like
Yeah.
FanDuel, DK, you're good to go in that thing. That was the one that I think jumped out for me big time here. But Straight's got these up here, so we have a couple of other ones on the big board. Look, I know you don't like fading your guys, but do you see any rationale at least? And yeah, I get it. Like it's plus EV. It's plus EV from a market based approach. Don't get me wrong, right? Like that doesn't mean that a predictive or trend or something else gets it the same way. So it doesn't mean it's written in stone, is my point there. Under 1.5 Drew threes tonight, Finesse is plus 140 at MGM. That's not a bad little number right there.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You don't like it because you think Drew's going to knock. Like, what do you like? Okay, here's a question for you. What do you like better? Because they're both going to be plus money. Do you like under 1.5 threes at that number plus 150 on Odd Shopper? Or do you like, and I'll find it on FanDuel, do you like 3+ threes? You can't go over or under one. You can't go over 1.5. You're either got to go under 1.5 threes or 3+ threes. And I'm going to bet your pick. All right. So we have the ticket to prove it.
Holy shit! So I actually didn't see it was plus 140. That's obviously a lot different.
All right, let me give you the numbers for
I'll go
three
under
for you.
1.5. Under 1.5 plus 140.
190 on FanDuel for 3+.
Plus 190. I'd go under 1.5 plus 140. I like
Okay.
that. I like that
Okay.
number.
Okay. This is proof right here. If you didn't need it on top of the bet slips, on top of the tweets, on top of the posts in the Gold Boys Discord, this is proof right here that finesse respects the coin. That finesse is
Oh yeah.
more about the bottom line than even
Oh
his
yeah.
own team.
I see plus 140 and that looks like plus a fucking million to me. So yeah, I'm on it.
See? So that's a sale right there for Hot Shopper in its own right. We
Yeah.
just converted finesse. And you don't like it. You don't like the feeling of it. I get it.
Yeah, because on another book that may be what like what does it say there? On another what's the worst price?
FanDuel right now is 132.
Well,
You get a
isn't
little bit of a break.
DraftKings it says plus 100, right?
Right.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't take it at that price, to be honest, you know? But 40
No.
cents is fucking huge in terms of implied probability.
Yep.
40 cents is humongous. So yeah, plus 140 is way more attractive.
All right. I got in, I got out. I'm not trying to push this thing by any means. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Thunder, we got that covered here. Let's move to some baseball. I know you got an MMA. You got a weekend here to talk about your card. MLB, I got a 2-leg parlay here that's going to run plus 418. I'm going to hit you with that in a sec. Home runs, K props. Do you have anything on the board, anything on the docket tonight you want to share with us?
Yeah, so a couple of early games just started. Wow, Colorado's dominating. A couple of early games started and finished already. We're having a good night, so we're looking to, or a good day. We're looking to continue that in a nice slate. Um, I'm gonna do a little bit of a ladder action. I like two hitters tonight in the Yankees game, both lefties, and I really like them. So we're gonna play them a couple of different ways. I'm getting best odds right now, but um, so I like Juan Soto and Kyle Tucker. Those are my two hitters that I'm liking today. Uh, excuse me. So I'm just gonna do a hit parlay with both of those boys. Again, I'm trying to get best odds like on the fly. I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to. So yeah, Juan Soto, Kyle Tucker, hit parlay. Marcus Stroman and Renel Blanco are on the bump for Houston and New York. Both guys struggle to get lefties out. So both guys are having decent years, especially Blanco having a pretty dominant year, but really, really struggles versus lefties at the stadium at Yankee Stadium, where very, very lefty friendly park with a short porch in right field. Um, where okay, here we go. So the hit parlay on FanDuel is minus 111. You may be able to sneak
Okay.
out some more value somewhere else, but I like that. I'm gonna play both guys to record a double as well. I'll probably play those separately and parlay together. Parlay together is plus 2354 on
Wow.
FanDuel.
Okay.
And I'm also obviously going to play the home run parlay with those boys together. And that is plus 3,000 on FanDuel. My man, I believe it's Portman, is on the home run play as well, which obviously makes me like it 1,000 times better. But yeah, if the hit parlay hits, you know, we're in profit. So that's all we need. Like I said, love both guys. Both guys hot right now. Kyle Tucker's homered in 3 straight games. He's on fire. Juan Soto, same thing. He's on fire. So small stadium. Both guys struggle versus lefties. I like that hit parlay
Yeah,
and
man.
a
That's
little ladder
fantastic.
action.
That's beautiful right there. What was that final number again? Plus 2240?
It was like 2350, something like that. And then the home
2350.
run parlay is plus 3,000.
Oh, man. That's fantastic. I love that. All right. Beauty right there. And shout out to Portman, right? Also on the home run dinger.
Yep, he's on the home runs. Yep.
Nice, nice, nice. All right. I'm going to throw one at you here. We can see if we have anything popping up on the. By the way, I don't know. I clicked on something to see Bobby's message. Check out these beautiful mugs on my screen, and it went full screen. And now the
Oh yeah,
chat is the only
James
thing
got
I
it fixed up
see.
here. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. See, I knew if I mentioned something, now it's gone again. Unbelievable. There we go. I knew if I mentioned something, straight would help me out, or maybe not. Maybe I did that by accident. There we go. All right, I'm back. Now I can see you at the very least. It was great listening to that, but being able to see you too. I'm going to do two things. Now, I think these work on the money line. If you want to play these simply as money line parlays, that's fine. I'm going to run this as a run line parlay. It's not exciting. It's pretty boring. And by the way, you're right, man. Rockies 7-1 right
Yeah.
now, heading into the bottom of the fifth. My goodness.
Yeah, just scored
San
seven
Fran,
in the
by the way,
bottom
sorry,
fourth. They just scored 7 in the bottom fourth.
insane. Absolutely insane. This total right now is 12 and a half, and the spread the run line's 5.5. I mean, it's plus 5.5 plus 126. I've not seen this game by any means. They just left another guy. It looked like Conforto just left another guy on the bag there on second. So
Yep.
you have to think, again, without watching a second of this game, you have to think if you're scoring 7 as Colorado, mind you, and I get it, it's in Colorado, but that has to be more outlier than not. Like, how much are you really anticipating from Colorado the rest of this game? Assuming San Fran doesn't give up and just run this like long relief.
Yeah, I didn't expect 7 runs. I'll tell you that right now. But
No,
Giants
sir.
bullpen has been hit or miss. Overall, I think they've been pretty good, but they've been hit or miss. I don't know what their bullpen usage looks like. So if they have some good relievers available, which I can check real quick, if some of the top relievers are available, I'd take the run line. The spread at plus money plus 5.5. I don't mind that. Bottom
Yeah,
five right
one
now. They got plenty of time.
absolutely, man. I mean, you're essentially getting one run and you've closed that at plus 126. And to your point, it's just a matter of how much do you trust Colorado. That's still
Yeah, and
sitting at
Colorado's bullpen is fucking disgusting. So if
awful.
anybody's gonna give up runs late, it's them.
All right, hold on, because I'm gonna throw a little something on this here as we're talking. As we're talking. All right, let me do that. Let me hit you with this tonight. Royals at Angels. Let's start. First leg, it's plus 140. Again, I'm gonna get greedy here, and I'm gonna target the later games. I'm gonna take the Royals on that just went off the board, so we'll see what the Rockies just did. Royals, I'm going to take them on the run line. Again, you want to take them on the money line, by all means, that's fine. I don't think there's any problem with that. I'm just stretching this a little bit on the run line itself, mainly because this is a travel game for both teams. And while the Angels kind of got over a little bit on Pittsburgh, and we saw that road trip end on whatever that would be a positive note for them, they're still traveling back home. It's a tough game after a road trip at home. Kansas City is a better baseball team. Michael Wacha desperately needs to go up against a lineup like this. And I think, again, you're going to find some spots here or there without Trout, but ultimately this Angels team, I don't think competes well with this Royals squad tonight. Look, there's nothing wrong with Reed Detmers by any means, but I think it's, again, equally a travel game for both teams. I don't think there's any advantage for the Angels. And I'm going to combine that with the Guardians. Again, 2 road teams, 2 road favorites. It's not exciting. There's nothing really sexy about this. I'm going to take them at plus 116 to get me at plus 14 overall. And look, some of this is the fact that I just don't believe in Eric Fetty. And as bad as it's been for Chicago, if you want to call it not even a bright spot, but like a lukewarm spot, that's fine. Cleveland is one of the top teams, AL run differential. They're limiting teams from scoring. And on top of that, they're pretty good on the road. Winning record, pardon me, on the road here. They've been able to get over on teams like this. And again, we're talking about the White Sox. I don't think they've turned a corner by any means. It's a little bit easier to accept Chicago tonight because Fetty's on the hill finesse, but I'm not willing to buy him long term. And I'm saying, all right, tonight's going to be the night where you start to see a little regression. Royals minus 1.5 on the run line. Guardians minus 1.5 on the run line. Plus 418 moneymaker.
Yeah, I like it. And Ben Lively's been a fucking electric. I don't know what he did in the summer. I haven't looked. I mean, in the winter, I haven't looked too deep into it. But the turnaround from last year has been crazy. He's been shoving. So yeah, I like it.
All right. Just got a note from my guy Lindy here. Allegedly he's in a state where you're unable to wager. So I'll get a
Mm,
text every now and again saying, hey, if you so inclined, Tucker tonight, home run
yep.
is plus 560. You like
Yep.
that? Is that up on Odd Chopper too? As Finesse goes through that straight. Let's see if we have anything along
That was
those
one of my
lines. But
guys. That was one of my guys. It's actually plus
oh
600
wait,
on bet.
wait, shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're
That's right.
good.
I had that earmarked because of that, and I
Yeah,
totally fucking blanked that he was in that whole mix. That's
yeah.
why I was going to mention it, and my fault because I went on some stupid monologue about that
No,
parlay. I
you're
forgot
good.
about it. But yes,
It's actually plus 600 on Bet Rivers.
see, I can't bet Rivers, man. They don't like line shopping.
Mm, mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm down to
40
an
cents.
amount that won't make sense to bet it.
Yeah.
Plus 600 there. That's right. That's not linked. So I stand corrected, and that's my fault. I earmarked it for a reason, and I falsely executed it. That's not Lindy. That's him reinforcing the play there. So absolutely. Now we have another individual who's on this sucker here tonight. And you're right about Lively, by the way. I think that plays absolutely nicely into this game. And again, you want to run that as far as minus 154 and minus 112. That's plus 211. So that's fine too. 212 technically. So that's fine too. All right. Let's see what we have real quick, straight, if we can, before Finesse blesses us here with some MMA on the way out. We were looking at some home run props just elsewhere on the board itself and seeing what we had here from Odd Shopper. Let's see. Let's see. Some of this too is just going to be about Jimenez is up there. Will Brennan is up there. Gleyber Torres. Wow, these are some long shots right here. If you just
Yeah.
sort by EV straight,
Yeah.
do you have any interest in going 10 to 1 for Jimenez or Brennan? Torres is not. William Contreras a little bit more manageable tonight, taking on St. Louis, plus 560 right there at least. That's not terrible.
Yeah, I was looking at Contreras earlier. I like that. He's been getting the ball in the air a lot too. So yeah, I like that.
All right, let's see. I think that's about it, man. You start to dip a little bit. Again, it just depends on the market, right? Sonny Gray K's, there's that Ben Lively. I'm not touching that one since I'm on that team. Wow, it's pretty light overall with home runs. That's fine. Look, the tool is pointing towards some longer shots here. I may do a little sprinkle or two on those guys and see what happens, but absolutely there with Contreras. All
Yeah,
right, brother. Let's
weather is going to be a big thing today as well. It looks like Yankees game should be fine at least starting. Guardians White Sox should also be okay starting. Those are the only two games that are really in danger, so I would look out for that as well.
all right. Yep, let's do that. So you see here, gave you some freebies, throw some stuff out on the site. Make sure you check it out. We even converted Finesse just for a play, not life. This is not life changing by any means, but we got Finesse to go under 1.5. Now, granted, it was like I put him on the stand and forced him into a corner, so it was
Yeah,
totally unfair by me.
yeah,
Bad teammate that I am. But ultimately, we'll get you in here. Sign up. There's a link below. We want you a part of many things. And one of them is Odd Shopper. We'll give you 50% off your first week or month. Click the link, use code LIVE at checkout, and you'll be good to go by all means. And again, we're here on the GoldBoys community, the YouTube channel. So make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed and a part of everything here. And you can come check me out on Odd Shopper as you see what we're doing over there as well. All right. I have no idea what's going on this weekend in your world. So this is my primer, if you will. Now I get to write down a couple of notes, and when Saturday comes around, I know who to bet.
yeah. UFC is in St. Louis. We get an event that's not in the Apex, which is good. Pretty good card too, right? Not a lot of name value. The main event isn't super exciting, but the rest of the card is pretty good, pretty stacked. So I'll just kind of rifle them off here. I usually do my best to stay away from women's MMA. It's very volatile, a lot of decisions, very little finishing equity. So I like to kind of stay away. But there's a couple of spots I really like today. First fight of the night, JJ Aldrich going against Veronica Hardy. I like Veronica Hardy on the money line. You can get her still minus 125, minus 130, around that mark. She has been much improved since her little hiatus. She took like 2 years off training with Dan Hardy. Now she's back. she's been back, but she's been so much improved, so much of a better fighter, especially in a stand up. Her cardio is a lot better, which is important. JJ Aldrich is she's kind of a bar, right? She's kind of a UFC
Yeah.
bar, right? If you can't beat JJ Aldrich, you have no hopes of making the rankings. You probably shouldn't be in the UFC. Aldrich is decent, you know, she's pretty average, right? I think one of her biggest qualities is that she doesn't make devastating mistakes, right? She's pretty good IQ in there, pretty average, but I don't think that's enough to beat Veronica, especially in the bigger cage. I think Veronica is going to piece her up on the feet. I think the cardio is going to hold up. More likely than not, this fight goes to decision. So, you know, you can play Veronica Hardy by decision, play the overs in this fight, but I like Veronica Hardy. I think JJ is going to try to do a lot of cage pushing and stalling and stuff like that. Ever since Veronica came back, she showed that she knows what to do in those positions, how to get out of those positions. So I think she wins. The other WMMA fight I like is Tabitha Ricci going against Tisha Pennington, formerly known as Tisha
Okay.
Torres. I like Tabitha Ricci, Baby Shark, on the money line. She's around the same price, minus 130. I've never liked Tisha Torres. Her striking is very stiff, very basic, very slow. Now she's coming off a long layoff, had a baby. Those are all red flags to me. Tabitha Ricci's a monster. She's a beast. I actually faded her in her last fight against Lupi Godinez. So we won that. It was a close fight, but we won that. Lupi Godinez is a much different fight than than Tisha Torres. So Tisha's gonna try to wrestle a little bit, gonna try to do this, some of the same things that Aldridge is gonna do. Maybe a little cage pushing, try to get her down. Tabitha Ricci's a beast. The movement, the speed is gonna be major issues, and Tabitha is very physical, which is very important in WMMA. So valuable in WMMA, that physicality. So I think she's gonna be more physical, faster, better on the feet, better movement. And I think she wins as a favorite. So those are just two WMMA fights. I'll rattle off one more for the people.
There we go.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Terrence McKinney's fighting Esteban Ribovitz. If you watch any Terrence McKinney fights, if you know MMA even in a slight bit, this one is very simple to me. Terrence McKinney's round one or bust. He may be first 3 minutes, first 4 minutes or bust. Esteban Ribovitz is very tough, extremely durable. I don't see McKinney knocking him out. So it has to be, I take you down and I choke you out within the first 3 or 4 minutes. If that doesn't happen, McKinney's going to gas and he's going to lose his fight. So I can't bet a fighter, even at plus 140. I can't bet a fighter that I can only win in the first 3 or 4 minutes. So I like Esteban Ribovitz to win. His takedown defense is suspect, but when he's on his back, he does the right things. He doesn't rush things. He doesn't make many mistakes off his back. So I like him to kind of withstand the storm. I'm going to play his money line. I'm going to play him round 2 and round 3 at big plus money prices. I think he gets it done. Extremely tough, good striker. Like I said, good enough on the ground to stay safe. And yeah, McKinney's first 3 minutes are bust. So I like Ribovitz to, like I said, weather the storm and win this one early second round, mid second round, around there.
Look at that. 3 plays on the card. You even threw one in for the people there at the end. Beautiful. I love the red flags too, right? Because it's like, this isn't, and I'm not diminishing golf or tennis, but I feel like certain things you can do maybe quicker or maybe easier than opposed to getting in the octagon like after childbirth or something along those lines, right? Like
Yeah.
this is a grueling activity. And
And
it's
they're like they're
amazing.
human beings, right? So like
Yeah,
when you talk about WMMA, right? I'm not trying to be icky or anything like that, but when you
sure.
talk about women, you're talking about that time of the month, right? You gotta look at that type of stuff, right? Because a fight is a fight. It's not like, oh, there's 82 games. I'm gonna sit this one out. You don't fight, you don't get paid. So yeah, there's a lot of human aspects that definitely matter. And at her age, her layoff, coming off a baby, those are major red flags.
Man, wouldn't it be something? And I know this is going to be taken wrong and it's not meant to be, but if you found a fighter who you got inside info is like, man, this woman has like significant PMS, which is a thing, right? Like certain women, like
That's happened to me before. Yeah, that's it. There was a chick who openly was on IG and was talking about it on IG, like, oh, it's that time of the month, but we got to trek through. We're still training. It's during fight week when the fight is on Saturday. So that's I'm not a woman. I've never experienced that, but that can't be ideal.
No, I wonder if there's a way that you could turn that around. But then you're also talking about like the physical act of cramping. Now we're getting into like overstepping and talking about, we're going to be accused of talking about what a woman goes through, Finesse. So we got to walk carefully on this. But I will
Yeah.
say that we're talking about a strategy here that absolutely makes sense for this sport specific. And I think it's just, you talked about that, and it perked my interest there when you mentioned that as far as a red flag. All right, I'm going to hit you with one on the way out. I'm going to give a shout out to Ryan Props out there for the follow on Twitter. Got the follow from Props. Still waiting on the follow from the main GoldBoys account. But, what can you do, man? What can you do? So I'm going to hit you with this. We hit it last game. It worked. I'm going to come right back to it again tonight, and just making sure that it's still out there. Yep, tonight, 9:30, over 6.5 in the Colorado-Dallas game on the ice. Two teams that can score, great offenses, not to get too deep or too in the mud or wheels or what have you here. Weeds, I guess, is the other way to put it. But both of these teams score a lot, and they can score in bunches. We just saw a 3-goal lead jump out in the first period, vanish, and this thing get forced to overtime where it went over, and 7 final goals. That's what I love about this series, is that either team can get you 3 goals in the blink of an eye, and this total is always at jeopardy going over. And at even money, I think if you can still get this at even money, you absolutely need to jump on that. Hands up, I'm done. Like Chopped. You know that show, Chopped? You watch that show ever?
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, that was my shit.
See? What do you mean that was your shit?
That was my shit. That was my shit. Yeah, I don't know anything about hockey, so yeah, you're on your own on that one.
There you go. Look, man, if I'm backing your PMS takes, you got to back my ice
Yeah,
takes.
yeah, we'll go over it. Yeah, we'll go over.
At Finesse the Books on Twitter, at Shander Bets for me. Make sure you're subscribed here on the GoldBoys YouTube channel. You can come check me out on Odd Shopper as well. Thanks to Straight, as always, for producing. My man, always a pleasure, brother. Anything you want to get out, where we can find you, the world, and anything else?
No, I mean right there. That's my Twitter right there. A lot of stuff. I try to do a decent amount of free content, and we got streams every week on this channel. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's it. It was a pleasure. We'll probably do this again very, very soon.
Absolutely.
So I look forward to that. And yeah, let's make some money tonight.
Let's do it. We'll see you.